has a severely lived-in look at all times, whether it is being lived in or not. The backs of chairs and sofa cushions are padded with layers of shirts, some laundered, others that will get lost and reclaimed by the little sister before anyone notices their absence from the clean pile. And the TV is always on, whether Alex is in the lazy boy or not. It drones out the inflected hum of Hannah, the Israeli neighbor who has appropriated a spare pair of keys and comes up to do the laundry and cook thanklessly. Childless, retired, and with a dubious grasp of English, she has found herself a formidable task in adopting the family. As she makes her way through the mess, a scantily clad Marilyn grins down at her from behind the fallen strap of her black slip from a vintage Playboy cover on the wall. She hums and scrubs in sweatpants with her bronze gray hair in a bun, and once in a while there are footsteps down the narrow hall, and someone yells hello, and then, oh no, no one's home, just Hannah. The normality of the apartment or its inhabitants was never something that I questioned. My friend Bella had lived there all her life like I had lived in my apartment all of my life. Following her third-grade birthday party, the PTA mom of one of the other girls invited called to talk to me and ask, had I noticed anything, well, strange about the apartment itself? Pictures of naked women on the walls, excessive mess. No, only the normal amount of nudes and undusted corners, I reassured her over the phone, sensing a vague sort of threat and feeling, for the first time, a kind of stubborn solidarity that had never been a defining feature of my relationship with Bella. In my mind, it was us versus them. Them being the two pink and self-assured girls Bella had invited to her 8th birthday as a kind of shrewd diplomatic effort, which I did not understand at the time, and still don't. They were friends, but not with us. But I remember the looks on their faces when Alex decided to go to the American Girl doll place by car. We all needed to crouch in the footwell of his old white Mercedes and cover our heads with his massive coat so the traffic cops wouldn't give him a ticket for not having enough seatbelts. Their faces went a little slack, mostly scared, and maybe rightly so. They weren't used to this at home. So when their mothers called, even though I was flattered by the attention and enjoyed that they were talking to me in serious voices, I picked up and told them that there was absolutely nothing wrong at all. There used to be intrusions by the social workers our second-grade teacher sent, landlords, and PTA moms. But now both daughters are enrolled in boarding schools on scholarship in random states. Now there's an expectant quiet and a dirty pool of West Side Highway sunlight on the surprisingly white sofa upholstery. Alex doesn't like to be in the house when both of his girls are gone. He has left behind a pile of multivitamins, diet books, and detox teas on the kitchen table to make a fresh start. He is presumably on one of his impractical business ventures, asking for money and faith from old friends who have been around since way back in the day of his record label job. The current project is a movie called The True Blunt Masters, about a band of roving burnouts who dream of making hip-hop. Dad, you don't know anything about hip-hop, the younger daughter wails. He doesn't take money from anyone. He loans it to friends, and they pay back big interest. For the girls, they say, writing checks, for your girls. He is selling the Warhols from the walls to pay tuition at 2 private schools and unhappily wonders where it all went. You don't know what it's like to live with an Italian father, Bella says. He thinks I'm going to stay home and do all the dishes. The focal point of the apartment is the kitchen. It has gravitational pull for the varied company present on vacation and on off from school days. There's such a mess in the girls' shared room that we don't go there. When they are back from school at the same time, there's a pile of clothing, bracelets, and deodorant spilling from the bed to the door of their room, as if they got so excited to be back in the city that they turned their suitcases upside down to find something, then left, remembering they didn't want to be home after all and forgot all about it. Some days, we walk in to find that the kitchen is already occupied by the younger sister and her friends. They are bored, and it is a portal spot for them. They sit on the counter, pop their gum, and scheme up better plans. We could go to Erica's. Her older brother's cute. No, her parents are home. We could go to St. Mark's and get our belly buttons pierced. I'm afraid of needles. I'll do yours myself. I remember that after all these years, I'm still afraid of 13-year-old girls. Bella complains that she feels old. We have sat in this kitchen barefoot and talked for a long time, sharing a block of stale cheese and a beer. She brags to anyone who finds our kitchen ritual weird that we have been friends for 12 years and tells them to get out. Her little sister has branded an infinity sign onto her foot at boarding school and scratches at the weak beginnings of dreadlocks at the back of her head. Don't they ever go out and do anything, Bella asks me. All they do is hang out here, eat chips, smoke pot, and complain that there's nothing to do. You start valuing how much there is to do in New York once you leave. What did we used to do in here, I offered, dispelling the vague sense of worry. We went to museums sometimes, she counters. How did we turn out okay, she asks me. It is her favorite question. Because you needed to, and I had no reason not to, I say. The dust and crumbs in my house are not from neglect. They are just from everyone being too busy to clean. Her Uncle John is in the living room in front of the TV with Alex and some friends. They are drinking Budweiser and watching the Super Bowl. Bella, where's the steak? Alex's voice drifts into the kitchen at high volume. Make your own damn steak, she yells back. Uncle John is not drinking. He is distractedly dipping his finger into a jar of raw bee pollen. He only eats raw food. We wander in and he offers us some, saying it's great for the lower intestine. No thanks, we're going out. Does Uncle John ever get lonely in Astoria with no girlfriend and 18 cats? No, Bella says. 18 cats are a handful. We don't actually go out until much later, when it is dark out in Riverside Park, and the younger sister and her lanky, pierced friends are already long gone. Up until the last moment, we are at the kitchen table, making plans for our future independence. We flirt with the idea of burning bridges, and are already nostalgic about all the things we will leave behind.